What's going on at the intraday, at the NGX, on the floor of the exchange, what's driving investor sentiments. And we're joined by Onose Asotie Naulo, is investment analyst, Main Street Capital Limited. Onose, good afternoon. It's good to have you on the program.
Afternoon, Will. Thanks for having me.
Onose, let's see through your eyes. What's going on there? And don't forget that the NGX was rated the second best performing stock market last week, and due to gains on banking stocks.
Yeah, banking is the name of the game right now in the market. Investors are trooping into banking stocks. And one thing is, it's not just local investors. If you look at foreign portfolio investments in November, it was up significantly. So we see funds from even outside the country coming in, and everybody's getting into banking stocks. One of the fundamental reasons is the recapitalization, right? Yeah, so we know about the FX revaluation gains. That has kind of skyrocketed a lot of the net asset valuations, for a lot of these banks. Right? But then we also see the recapitalization, and we expect that if that goes through, a lot of banks will increase their capital base and even potentially increase, their intrinsic value. As what we see is a lot of investors are getting in and kind of betting on that to happen, so they could just possibly ride the wave. Another thing could be dividends. Banks did really well when it comes to earnings last year. And even though the CBN says they shouldn't use the FX revaluation gains as dividends, investors are expecting that in one way or the other, the banks will kind of, find a way to channel some of these gains, back to shareholders. So there's just a lot of incentive for buying and holding banking stocks right now.
So will this do anything to change the country's MSCI classification status? Now, that Nigeria is on a standalone basis, being reclassified there, downgraded there. We just received that initial disbursement of $2.25 billion from the $3.3 billion crude oil prepayment facility from Afrexim Bank. With this inflow of FX, will it change anything with the MSCI outlook for us?
It could, potentially. One thing you have to remember is the MSCI came to their decision, I believe October, November last year, right? But they had, started to, there was a whole process that started in June the previous year. So, it tends to reason that before they would even move us, even if, we see significant improvements in the FX situation, it stands to reason that there will be a period of time where they will monitor the stability of the market to ensure that the solutions that we're preferring are not just band-aids, but they have a bit more sustainability to them. So it's a good thing that, the 2.25 billion coming in from Afrexim, we need to now start seeing more liquidity in the market. First, before MSCI will now start to consider taking off us off on the standalone list or the unclassified list.
Okay, we see another news came into the market. We see that 7 major oil marketers in the country have received approval to sell Dangote refinery fuel, and these include MRS and Total Energies, which are listed on the exchange. Now, has there been any interest for these stocks after this announcement?
Not today. As at today's trading session, I haven't seen. In fact, sell orders eclipse buy orders for both Total, MRS, and then I checked Conoil just to be sure. And for most oil and gas stocks, investors are still selling right now. This might be a kind of situation where we may need to, start to see progress. Start to see, them actually start selling these things. Because I remember when was it Boa Cement said, "Oh, we're going to start selling, cement for like 3,500," and I don't think that has happened. So there's this thing where there's a tendency for in this country to make announcements, and then the execution might not always be as expected. So it stands to reason that investors kind of just sit back and wait, and let's see you get your first shipment of fuel and sell that, and then, oh, okay, it's a thing that's actually going on. Then very well, then we can invest in it. So until then, I'm surprised if prices stay, a bit muted for, these oil and gas stocks.
So investors are not taking a bite now. They're not falling into that trap. They're just watching, being cautious, watch and see. So the market, how do you see it closing today, especially with inflation numbers out 28.92%?
I think the market was too close positive because for a lot of the largest volume and value movers, Zenith Bank, Access, they're trading positive this morning. Well, as of this afternoon, I know as of this morning, there are some stocks that are trading a bit negative, but it seems like investors have kind of changed their sentiment this afternoon. So I very much expect a positive close for today's trading session rather.
Thank you so much, Nose Asotie Naolo, investment analyst with Main Street Capital, for sharing your perspective on the program. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.